Hi guys, I'm Sonic and I'm the best lean user in the world. In this new video, I'm gonna teach you all second block cases that you need to become really fast at block building. The cases should be about 60, maybe something less, but don't worry because they're all extremely simple and intuitive, so you'll be able to learn them as easy as an F12 pair on the 3x3 cube, so don't worry. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So I'll divide the second block cases in sub-steps depending on the position of the two corners. So we will first start with the cases in which both corners are already solved. Now, if the edge is here, obviously you're getting a skip. If the edge is here, you can simply take out the corners, bring them here, do an M2 like this, and solve them. If the edge is here in the front, you just do the exact same thing, but in the back. So you take out the corners by leaving the edge here, you do an M2 to solve the block, and then you just insert it. If the edge is on top on the other side, you can either bring down the edge like this and then just solve this case by doing M2 and insert, or you can do another thing, which is bringing it down from the back and then doing M2 insert. Now for the next set, in which you have both corners solved relative to each other on the top layer, we have the first case in which the edge is here in the back and you just do M2 and insert. Same reasoning can be applied if the edge is here in the front, where you can just do M2 and then insert like that. If the edge is in the bottom layer but on the right, there is a bit more of an annoying solution. That's basically just taking this edge and pairing it to this corner like this, and then just solving this case intuitively, which is bringing this down, pairing with the other corner, and bringing that down. You can do it from the back as well, for example by pairing this edge with that corner like this, and then just solving this case. Now, when the edge is on top, obviously it can be solved like this, which is a really lucky state in which you just bring down the block. If the edge is adjacent to the block, you just bring down the edge and then just do M2 to create the block on top and insert it. Or if the edge is on the other side, you can do the exact same thing but from the back. So you bring down the edge like this, do a U, and then M2 to solve the block there in the back, and then just insert it. If the edge is opposite to the block, this is kind of a worst case, but to solve it, you have a couple options. Option number one is just doing M2, like that, U2, and then M2 again, to have the block solved, and then you insert it. Or another thing you can do is doing the exact same thing, but with a 3 slice M2, U2, M2. So instead of doing that, you just do slice, 5, -1 like this, slice, -5, 1, and slice again. And at this point, the block is still going to be solved. Obviously, all this maneuverment, you can just do it when the headlights are in the back. So just do this, 5, -1, slice, -5, 1, and then the block is going to be on top. Now, going ahead with the next subset, when you have both corners on the bottom layer that are flipped, if you get the edge here in the front, you can just bring them up, U prime, slice, U, slice, U prime, slice, U, slice. If you know Vanderburg, it's just the JN algorithm. Same thing can be done when the edge is here in the back. You just misalign the bottom layer and do the exact same thing. Slice, U prime, slice, U, slice, U prime, slice, U, slice, and as you can see, the block is solved. Now, when you get this case in which the edge is in the middle of the corners that you have to swap, you basically bring the whole thing up and you bring one corner with one edge down like this. Then what you want to do is that you want to pair this corner with this edge, and now just pair, this block here with the corner, and you're going to be good. Same thing can be done from the back, so you can take this out, and then instead of bringing down this corner with this edge, you bring down this corner with this edge. So you bring them in the back like that, you slice, and then you pair this corner with this edge right here, and it's just the exact same thing as before. When you get the edge on the top layer, you have a whole lot of different ways to solve this, but the easiest one is probably to just bring down the edge like this, and then you want to pair this corner here to the edge like that, and you just back to the same case as you were before. So you just pair this corner with the edge, pair it, and now you're gonna be good. Same thing can be done from the back, so you just bring down the edge, bring this corner with the edge, but pair it incorrectly, pair this corner with the edge, just solve the block on top, and you're good. If the edge is right here, you can basically do what I showed you in the previous solution. So you just pair this corner with the edge like that, you pair the other corner with it, and then you just create the block on top and solve. If the edge is back here, you can basically do the exact same thing. So you bring down this corner, you just pair this with the edge, create the block on top like that, and you're gonna be good. Now, this case can be quite annoying as well when you have the two corners flipped on top and the edge here. This is a 5 slicer. Basically, you can put the two corners in front and then just do slice, U prime, slice to reduce yourself to this case here that can just be solved by pairing this corner with the edge, and then pairing this block with this corner right here in the back, and solving the block. You can do it from the back as well, so you just put the corners here, the edge is still here, you just do slice, bring down the edge here in the front, and then you have the mirror of the case you had before, so you just pair in this corner to the edge, create the big block in the front, and just solve. Now, if the edge is in between the two corners on the top layer, what you want to do is that you want to bring down one corner with one edge. If you remember from one of the earlier cases, you just do this, you pair the other corner with the edge, you create the block on top, and you solve. Same thing, you can do it from the back. So like this, you slice by bringing these two down, you just pair the corner with the edge, and then you're pretty much good. Really simple cases on top are when you have the edge paired with a corner, so you just do like slice, U prime, slice, U, slice. It's super simple. You can do it from the front as well by doing slice, U prime, slice, U prime, slice. Super simple. And even when the edge is paired to the other corner, you just misalign the bottom layer instead of the top, and you do the exact same thing. So slice, U prime, slice, U prime, slice, and the block is going to be solved. From the back, it's exact same thing, so you just do slice, U prime, slice, U, slice, and you're gonna be good. Now, a case that might be a bit annoying is when the edge is opposite to the flipped corners. In this case, what you wanna do is that you wanna pair the edge to the corner that's on the left. So this one here is on the left, so you just slice, U prime, slice, and as you can see, you get this case that's much simpler. So you bring down this corner, you pair the block on top, and you're going to be okay. You can do the exact same thing from the back. So in this case, if the edge is back here, you want to pair it to the corner on the left. So this one here, just pair it like that, and then it's basically going to be done. When the two corners are opposite to one another on the top layer, and you find the edge to be in this position, you just pair this corner to the edge like that. Then you will create the block on top and just solve it. Same thing goes when the edge is in the front. So here, you just pair this corner to the edge like that. You create the block on top, and you insert it. Now, when the edge is in the DR position, you basically want to pair it with either corner. So for example, let's say that we want to pair this edge to this corner. You just slice from here, do a U, and as you can see, they're going to be paired up. At this point, you just create the block on the top layer like that in the back, and you insert it. You can basically do the exact same thing on the back with the other corner. So you just slice and pair the edge with this corner like this. And now, as you can see, you're going to have this whole block here. The corner is here. Just create the block on top and insert it. When the edge is on the top layer and paired to one of the corners, it's super simple and intuitive. You just bring one down, slice to create the block, and insert it. You can do it from the back as well by bringing these two down, creating the block like that, and insert it. Same goes when the edge is paired to the other corner. So you, for example, bring these down, pair to the other one to create the block and insert. Or you can just do it from the back, for example, by taking this down, you pair the block, and you insert it. Now, a bit more tricky is when the edge is not actually paired to the corners. So there are a couple of different solutions for these. So you can either take these two pieces that are kind of opposite to each other and bring them down. Then you pair this corner to the edge that you just brought down. Then you create the block in front and you insert it. Or you can bring on the bottom layer the corner and the edge that are paired together. So you just bring them down like that. You pair the other corner with the edge. You just solve the block on top and insert. You can do the exact same thing if the edge is paired wrongly with the other corner, so you can bring them down like that. You pair this corner here with the edge. You just create the block on top like that and insert. Or you can bring these two down like that and pair this corner with the edge. And at that point, you just, insert the block. Now we have 4 subsets left, and the first one is the one in which you have one corner on top and the BDR one solved in its position. So if the edge is right here, so in the BD position, you just pair the corner that's on top with it, like that. You create the block on top and insert. If the edge is paired with the corner that's solved as well, you just bring them up like this, pair with the other corner and insert. If the edge is in the DF position, so opposite to this corner that's solved, you just want to pair this edge directly with the other one like that, and then solve this case intuitively. So you just, do this to create the block and then insert. Now, if the edge is on top, pair with the other corner, you can just intuitively create the block like this and insert. On the other side, if it's paired incorrectly with the corner, what you want to do is that you want to put this in the back and kind of, insert these two pieces. Then you want to pair the corner that just got on top with the edge like that. you create the block and you insert. Now, if the edge is opposite to the corner so that it forms kind of like an F12 pair, what you want to do is that you want to insert this edge here by doing an M2, so like that, and then you have this 3 slicer left, so you pair this corner with the edge, you create the block on top, and you insert. If the edge is opposite to the corner but they don't really form an F12 pair, you want to bring both of them down like that, then you want to pair this corner to the edge like this, and then you just solve the block. Now going ahead with another subset in which you have the FDR corner solved and the other one being on top. If the edge is in the BD position like this, what you want to do is that you want to pair this edge to the corner that's on top, so directly like that, and then just solving this case by bringing, for example, this corner down, you pair that, and you insert. If the edge is paired with the corner that's solved, it's basically the same thing as before. You pair it with the corner that's in the back like this, and then insert the block. On the other side, if the edge is wrongly paired with the corner, you just kind of take this one here, paired with the edge, so the other goes on top, like that, and insert the block. As you can see, these cases are just the mirrors of the ones I showed you in the last set. So when you have the edge paired with the corner like this, you just bring this up, you create the block and you insert. If the edge is wrongly paired with the corner that's on top, basically you want to bring both of them down like this, so the solved corner comes up, and now you pair this with the edge that's in the back, you pair the block like this, and you insert. Now, if the edge is opposite to this corner right here, kind of forming like an F12 pair, you basically want to put it like this and pair this corner with this edge, so you slice, and then pair this with that, like this, so that this corner comes here, and you can just, pair the block and insert. If the edge is still opposite to the corner, but it doesn't kind of form an F12 pair, you just want to bring both of them down like this. Then you pair this corner with the edges that went in the back. Now you slice, and as you can see, you get this basic case that's just slice for the block and insert. Now we only have 2 sets left. The first one is the one in which the FDR corner is in the wrong position, so it's like this. And if the edge is paired to that, then it's super simple. Obviously, you just create the block on top and insert. Now, if the edge is wrongly paired with the corner, basically you just want to pair the corners like this. And then you bring down the edge, as I showed you in an earlier case, and just do M2 to create the block and insert it. If the edge is opposite to this corner, what you want to do is that you want to take this and pair it to that edge like this. And then you just pair the block on top and insert. Now, if the edge is on top and paired with a corner, it's super simple. You just pair the block and insert. But if they're paired the wrong way, you just want to put it like this and do an M2 so that it gets paired with the one that's down there. And now you can just create the block normally and insert. If the edge on top is opposite to the corner, kind of forming like an F12 pair again, what you want to do is the exact same thing as before. So you do an M2 to pair this edge with the corner, and you just solve it like that. If the edge is opposite to the corner that's on top, not forming an F12 pair, you just want to pair the corner that's on bottom with the edge that's right here, like this, without doing an M2, okay? Just a normal slice. And then you pair the block in the back and solve it. Now, for the last few cases, and don't worry, we're almost there. If you have the BDR corner here in the front, so the wrong position, and the edge is back here, you want to take the corner that's on top, paired with the edge, like that, then just solve the block on top and slice to insert it. If you get the edge being paired with the corner that's on bottom, but in the wrong way, you want to do the same thing as before. It's just all the mirrors. So you pair the corners together, you bring down the edge, do an M2 to create the block, and just solve it. On the other side, if the edge is paired correctly with this corner, it's super simple. Obviously, you just pair the block and insert. Super easy as well. If the edge is on top paired with the corner, you just, bring them in the back like that, create the block and insert. On the other side, if you get the edge being wrongly paired with the corner, what you want to do is that you just want to bring it in the back like that, and then do an M2 to pair it with this corner, so like this, and then you just solve the block. If the edge is opposite to the corner, forming an F12 pair, it's the exact same thing as before. So you bring it there, do an M2 to solve it with the block, slice and insert. And now we have the last case. That's the one in which the edge is opposite to this corner, but not forming an F12 pair. You just want to take this corner and pair it with this edge like this, and then you're just going to have a basic case. So guys, that was it for the tutorial. Hopefully you liked it, and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because that really helps me and gets me motivated. And just so you know, I already have a plan to make future videos about the second block to allow you to become even faster, learning some even more advanced techniques. But in the meanwhile, good cubing.